I'd been on their trail for months, ever since they left their hideout in the Bighorn Mountains.
Fala galera, estamos aqui com vocês junto com o maior mentiroso do mundo, Call of Juarez, Gunslinger.
Colorado to Montana. Among them was the Sundance Kid, and that murderous hombre I was tracking, Roscoe Bob Bryant.
Were you a part of that giant Pinkerton posse after the Wild Bunch?
No, boy. A circus like that would have slowed me down. Besides, I wanted Bryant all to myself. I'd heard about a large shipment of gold being transported to Wilcox, Wyoming on the Overland Flyer. I figured the Wild Bunch would likely hit such a treasure, and by God, I figured right. They blew the bridge with the intention of forcing the train to stop. Well, I assumed the Wild Bunch was likely in the still intact part of the train high above. I was determined to make that sumbitch Bob pay for what he did to my brothers.
Ai meu Deus. Não, cadê minha pistola?
I found the device they used to blow the tracks, so I knew I was headed in the right direction.
My ears are still ringing from blowing up that bridge.
What'd you say?
Well, I made my way off unscathed and came upon a few members of the gang and had no choice but to dispatch them. From there, I had to negotiate an even more precarious route. But first, I would need to get my ass out of there.
Não tem nada por aqui? Vamos embora.
I jumped from the frying pan into the fire as the train was clearly fixing to fall. I had found the gang, but in order to find old Bob, I needed to fight my way forward past a whole passel of desperados. Outside, inside, any way I could, I made my way towards my prey.
Well, what about the passengers?
It was mostly a freight train, as I recall. There were no passengers aboard that day.
Beleza.
Hide, you lily-livered son of a bitch!
As I mentioned before, I am not fond of heights. But I was too busy dodging bullets to worry about falling to my death. Odds were I was likely to die that day anyway. So I was determined to take down as many of those bastards as I could.
That's right! Run!
Desgraçado. E aí?
At times, it was like shooting ducks in a shooting gallery. The only difference is these damn ducks shot back.
Toma! Ai, não, ficou maluco, cara! Nada a ver, né, cara? Ela foi lá e se jogou fora.
I kept hoping the law would show up and give me a hand.
Like that giant Pinkerton posse that I read about. Did they come riding in, guns a-blazing to help?
Que merda. Ah, já mudou a história. Mentiroso, cara.
Help? From the Pinkertons? No, son. I had to fight the Wild Bunch all by my lonesome, as usual.
Who the hell is that? He's out of his mind! Is that Silence Creek?
Oh, cara, que precisão é essa?
You're dead! You hear me? Get out here! Those are my friends you killed! He's killing everybody! They'll kill us all!
Muito bom. Viu? Caramba. A ação é legal, mas as mentiras, cara, vou te falar. Tem que aguentar esse mentiroso.
My guess is those dime novels didn't portray this as it happened, did they? Only a few stragglers were left. I had to cut them down pronto if I was going to stay on old Bob's trail.
Caramba, velho. Nossa.
Once I silenced all those guns, I went searching for my nemesis, determined to finally have my justice. But the only survivor who welcomed me was George Flat-Nosed Curry.
Who was he?
The fastest gun in the gang. Right
Ah,
after Sundance, I mean. And Kid Curry, and maybe Elsie Lay. Though some folks might dispute that. On that very same day, Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid decided to leave the Wild Bunch behind and decamped for South America. I ended up living down there for many years, but I'm sure you already know all about that.
Muito bom, vamos continuar. Não sei como que consegui aquela precisão na esquerda, cara. Acho que chegou a 60%. Ah, o mentiroso do mundo, cara. Eu nunca vi. Nunca vi isso na minha vida. O velho mentiroso.
I tried to find Bob Bryant, but it was as if he'd disappeared. Sometime later, I heard the Wild Bunch was back together. Kid Curry escaped from jail, and now he was running the whole shebang. So I took to their trail, as I was still in pursuit of my brother's killer and hoped that he was back with him.
That Kid Curry's kinda crazy, ain't he?
Don't let him hear you saying that.
Anyways, I tracked those boys to a camp right outside Parachute, Colorado. Being outnumbered, I didn't bother with a warning shot. I just started taking those bastards down.
Já foram 3, 4.
It's you or me.
Old Bob wasn't among them, and neither was Kid Curry. I could sense him close by, however, plotting something nasty. I just needed a clue as to their whereabouts.
Tinha que ter pego esse negócio desde o começo, cara. Ele te mostra onde que tem o segredo. Mas beleza. Não tem problema. Ok.
And I found one. A map with their bold plan clearly marked. This time they were fixing to blow up a train trestle. Property of the Union Pacific. The plan clearly indicated how they were fixing to undermine several of the weakest wooden supports.
E a gente tem que salvar eles.
Kid Curry was considered the wildest of the wild bunch. It was said that he fathered 85 bastard children, though some say it was only 5. Kid Curry had bragged to a whore how he was gonna rob a train heading to the U.S. Mint in Denver. And that whore, Fat Sally, she told me.
Tinha escada, que merda.
The bridge was rigged with dynamite, so I decided I'd best be careful confronting those bastards. A moment later, I saw a ladder that somehow had escaped my attention.
Ah, é.
Don't you blow us up now.
Don't worry, I know what I'm doing.
But the Wild Bunch did not take kindly to my presence and attempted to blow my head off. It appeared the kid had found a number of new recruits to bolster their ranks. Guess there's always desperate men willing to trade their lives for stolen treasure.
What happened next?
Well, having removed the first bundle of dynamite, I decided I might as well remove the other one. Once that was done, I figured I'd find my way from there.
Time to feel good.
Caraca. Susto, cara. Meu Deus!
Show yourself.
Não tem precisão nenhuma, né, cara?
bet you would too. You're gonna have to do better than that.
So what happened then?
Had to remove more of that damn dynamite.
Beleza. Claro, né, cara?
It must have been
Comentar.
terrifying trying to make your way across.
I was sweating it a bit, but then I noticed a footbridge tied up on high, so I shot the rope.
Asqueroso, cara. Não é pra cair, hein,
that was
maluco?
all the dynamite?
Funny you should mention that, darling. As actually, there was a fourth charge impeding my progress. Once I removed it, my path was pretty clear.
Ei! O que mais?
So I proceeded onward and realized that that way just wasn't gonna work. I needed an alternate path forward.
Pera aí. Nossa, cara. Tá piscando o negócio aqui. Acho que é aqui, né, cara? Onde, cara? Se eu sair daqui já era o negócio. Calma. Pode ficar quieto não, cara? Nossa, que difícil, hein? O objetivo é pular do outro lado, só isso. Vamos lá.
Luckily, I found a cave, and as I made my way back to the bridge, I saw something that concerned me. It was a long burning fuse, and it was moving fast as hell. I had to catch it. The burning fuse was so damn quick, I had to run like the wind. I almost had it, but no. Thought I was gonna have a coronary when I lost sight of those sparks. My heart was pounding like a sledgehammer.
Cala a
Of course, I had
boca.
to tread carefully.
Mentiroso, cala a
Otherwise, I
boca.
could,
Puta
well,
merda, cara.
die.
Get off the bridge!
I knew that failure meant boom. Then, finally, at the last moment. Whew. Of course, I was successful, or clearly I wouldn't be talking to you folks here today.
Hahaha. É tão fácil agora, né, cara? Era só achar ele no começo. Agora vambora.
Naturally, I removed the last dynamite charge. Well, it was a touching reunion. But by this time, I was thoroughly exhausted and dragging my ass as I was not a young man anymore. I hope you understand how badly my adventure might have ended had I not been as careful as hell.
Não vou falar nada, cara. Você é um mentiroso, cagão, fica inventando histórias. Não sabe pular.
Kill that SOB! Make him bleed! Send him to perdition!
Finally, I found those boys. Or more precisely, they found me.
Morri, cara. Nossa senhora. Puta que merda, cara. Se eu não conseguir apertar o botão direito. Mas eles acham que é o. Eles acham que é o que, cara? É que é o teclado.
Nuttier than a damn fruitcake! I don't see. Where'd you learn that?
Vai, começa a mentir de novo, mentiroso.
Just when I thought things couldn't get worse, Kid Curry opened up on me with a goddamn Gatling gun. It was hidden in this tunnel and pretty well shielded.
Caraca, cara. Agora ferrou. Vamos ver o que a gente consegue aqui.
Luckily, I had located some dynamite. I still, however, had my work cut out for me.
Nossa senhora, foi no lugar errado? Será? Será? Não, tu tava no lugar certo, só que você morreu. Cara, nunca vi um jogo tão mentiroso e apelão, cara. Nunca vi, cara. Tá atirando em mim, cara? Você vai tomar, who you are. Caraca, cara. Muito bom, agora sim, cara.
Eventually, I brought that tunnel down. And that's when I met Kid Curry himself. He had decided to stop pussyfooting around and deal with me personally.
Vem cá agora, vem. Vai, precisam. Velocidade, sobe. Nada, subiu velocidade. Sobe velocidade de merda, cara. Puta que pariu. Essa fase é chata pra caramba, cara. Essa fase é chata, cara. Vai, velocidade de caramba, cara. Sem comentários, né? Eu vou matar o cara antes de acabar o negócio. Tô começando, não tô nem aí. Honra, sem honra. Não estou nem aí, cara. Que apelação do caramba, cara. E ela não sobe. Ah, a velocidade não sobe, cara. Não sobe. Fica apertando, aí de repente cai do nada.
Fast as he was, I was just a bit faster.
Mentiroso do caramba, cara. Seu
As
cagão.
he lay wounded, I demanded to know the whereabouts of Roscoe Bob Bryant. He shouted at me. Is that what this is about? Bob went with Butch's Sundance to South America. You ain't never finding him.
Ah, isso aí não foi apelação, cara. Nem tô com a mão em cima do teclado, cara.
He shouted at me. Is that what this is about? Bob went with Butch's Sundance to South America. You ain't never finding him. Those were his last words.
Ó, cara, eu não tô mais com a mão no teclado, pelo amor de Deus. É isso aí, galera. Fica por aqui. Vou pedir pra você avaliar meu trabalho, deixar um comentário. Se você gostou do vídeo, inscreva-se no canal, seja bem-vindo. A gente se vê na próxima. Valeu, falou, abraço.